Creation, Chapter 6, entitled Conversation between Sri Vyasadeva and Narad Muni, text 36. सर्वं तदिदमाख्यातं यत्पृष्टोऽहं त्वया नघ जन्मकर्म रहस्यं मे भवतश्चात्मतोषणम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Narad Muni continued, O Vyasadeva, you are freed from all sins. Thus I have explained my birth and activities for self-realization, as you asked. All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The process of devotional activities from the beginning to the stage of transcendence is all duly explained to satisfy the inquiries of Vyasadeva. He has explained how the seeds of devotional service were sown by transcendental association and how they gradually developed by hearing the sages. The result of such hearing is detachment from worldliness, so much so that even a small boy could receive the death news of his mother, who was his only caretaker, as the blessing of God. And at once he took the opportunity to search out the Lord. A sincere urge for having an interview with the Lord was also granted to him, although it is not possible for anyone to see the Lord with mundane eyes. He also explained how, by execution of pure transcendental service, one can get rid of the fruitive action of accumulated work, and how he transformed his material body into a spiritual one. The spiritual body is alone able to enter into the spiritual realm of the Lord, and no one but a pure devotee is eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. All the mysteries of transcendental realization are duly experienced by Narad Muni himself, and therefore, by hearing such an authority, one can have some idea of the results of devotional life, which are hardly delineated even in the original texts of the Vedas. In the Vedas and Upanishads, there are only indirect hints to all this. Nothing is directly explained there, and therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of all the Vedic trees of literatures. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So Narad Muni is concluding his talk. He's concluding his narration concerning his previous birth, where he became where he got attracted to the process of devotional service by the association of devotees. In this shloka, Narad Muni is concluding his narration. Sarvam tad idam akhyatam, sarvam, all, tat, that, idam, this, akhyatam, described, yat prishtaha, aham tvaya, yat means whatever, prishtaha, asked by, inquired by, uh, tvaya, by you, aham, me. I have, whatever you have asked me regarding my previous birth and regarding the process of devotional service, everything I have described to you, O Vyasadeva. I have described to you because you are anagha, you are without any sins. Agha means sins, anagha means one who is free from all sins. Janma karma rahasyam me. Me means mine. Janma karma, birth and activities. Rahasyam means miseries. Sorry, rahasyam means mysteries or secrets. Janma karma rahasyam me bhavatah cha atmatoshanam. I have described all of this for your atmatoshanam, for your self-satisfaction. Bhavataha means your, Atmatoshanam means self-satisfaction. O Vyasadeva, You are freed from all sins, Anagha. Thus I have explained, Akyatam, my birth and activities for self realization, Janma Karma Rahasyam, as you asked, Yat Prushtaha. All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also. Bhavatas Chatma Toshanam. This is how Narad Muni is concluding his narration. That means Narad Muni described the entire thing, the process of devotional service and his past life, of how he began his spiritual journey, and all of these he described for the purpose of uh, providing an opportunity for Vyasadeva to hear about the glories of devotional service for his personal satisfaction. This is very important. The whole, if you recollect what we have discussed in the beginning of the previous chapter, Narad Muni approached Vyasadeva when Vyasadeva was sitting and contemplating in his ashram about the cause of his dissatisfaction. He was dissatisfied even though he had actually compiled the Vedic scriptures. He had divided the one single Veda into four. He had compiled the Upanishads. He had composed Mahabharata. He had composed the 80 the Puranas, and then he had codified the entire Vedic knowledge into short aphorisms called Vedanta Sutras. So Vyasadeva had done all of these things, and in spite of that, he was dissatisfied, and he was contemplating what could be the reason for his dissatisfaction. At that time, the all compassionate Narad Muni, his spiritual master, comes there and he makes a diagnosis of the entire problem. And he says that even though you have compiled volumes of Vedic literatures, nowhere directly you have completely glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, his activities, and the process of pure devotional service. That is the reason for your dissatisfaction. That's how Narad Muni began his narration, correct? So here, Narad Muni is concluding. He's saying that all this I have explained to you, O Anagha, O sinless Vyasadeva, for your personal satisfaction. That means if we hear Krishna Katha, it, it leads to our personal satisfaction. When we engage in Haritoshanam, then Atma Toshanam will also happen. Toshanam means satisfaction. Hari Toshanam. When we engage in bhakti, devotional service, which Narad Muni has described, the process of satisfying the Supreme Lord Krishna. When we engage in that activity, then automatically we also become satisfied. By trying to satisfy Krishna, we become satisfied. A wonderful example has been given by Prahlad Maharaj related to this in the seventh canto of Bhagavatam. There, Prahlad Maharaj says, just like when you decorate your face, automatically the reflection of your face in the mirror will also become decorated. You don't have to separately decorate the reflection in the mirror. Just by decorating the original face, its reflection in the mirror also gets decorated. Prahlad Maharaj says, in the same way, by serving Krishna, by satisfying Krishna, by engaging in devotional service to Krishna, automatically we also become satisfied because we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is the point. So, in the material world, everybody is trying to attain Atma Toshanam, self satisfaction, independent of Krishna. But the Bhagavatam's core message is if you want Atma Toshanam, if you want self satisfaction, then engage in activities which cause haritoshanam, satisfaction of Krishna, which is nothing but devotional service. So that is the whole point. So Narad Muni is saying here that I have described all about my birth and my activities for self realization, which I performed in the past life, because of which now I have got this glorious birth of being an eternal associate of the Lord. All of this I have described to you for your personal satisfaction. And this is very important for self realization also. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that the entire narration of Narad Muni's past life is nothing but gradual development of Krishna consciousness. How did it all start? It started when the boy Narada, along with his mother, would go and serve the Bhakti Vedantas, the pure devotees, during the Chaturmasya. And that time he got to hear about Krishna from them. He also got opportunity to render service to them. And once he took their permission and accepted Mahaprasadam, the remnants of their prasadam from their plate, all of this became the starting point of the spiritual journey of Narad Muni. That means it all starts with Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Initially, there must be some faith, and then with that faith, we have to associate with the pure devotee. And by this Sadhu Sangha, we become engaged in bhajana kriya, we engage in devotional service, just like Narad Muni got initiated by the Bhakti Vedantas and he started chanting the holy names, he started practicing the Bhakti Yoga activities. And by so doing, uh, the Anartha Nivritti, all the contaminations, all the bad habits and drives will go away. And in the case of the boy, as it is already explained in the in this chapter also, this boy Narada in his past life, he was actually, even though he was a small boy, he was not at all attached to playthings. That means he actually had very less anartha, almost no anarthas. Means very conducive for self-realization. The greater our anarthas, the greater will be the time, the longer will be the duration for our purification. We are in the material world from time immemorial, and we have accumulated so much of dust of material contamination in our consciousness. And of course, the process of devotional service is very, very potent, it's very pure, it's very powerful. It can destroy any amount of sinful contaminations, right? So, uh, but if one is sinfully inclined, even after coming in touch with Krishna consciousness, if one still continues wantingly to perform sinful activities, then such a person's progress becomes very, very slow. So we should be very careful not to uh, become a victim of our past conditioning. Yes, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we might have had so many habits which are not conducive, which are all sinful. But after we understand the importance of Krishna consciousness, we must we must seriously endeavor to give up those sinful tendencies. And the best thing to do is we don't have to actually keep worrying how to give up our bad habits. We should simply intensify our devotional service. Tivrena bhakti yogena. Intensely, we should perform bhakti. Intensely, we should chant the holy names of the Lord with great attention and with full concentration, full faith. And we should also intensely engage in all kinds of menial services, engage in service of the Lord and the devotees. By doing so, any kind of anartha will go away. So after the anarthas go away, then one becomes fixed up in bhakti. That is called nishtha. Firm conviction will come about. And this firm conviction will give rise to asakti, will give rise to ruchi. Ruchi means taste. We develop taste for chanting, we develop taste for devotee association, we develop taste for service, and then it becomes this transforms, this taste gradually increases and it becomes asakti. Asakti means full attachment to the Lord. We develop attachment to the Lord, we develop attachment to the deities, we develop attachment to the holy name, developing attachment to the devotees of the Lord. And when this asakti further it amplifies, we become uh, situated in the bhava stage. So bhava means we become emotionally uh, advanced. We develop spiritual emotions. This bhava is not it is different from sentiments. Sentiments means simply without proper scriptural understanding, without proper realization, simply trying to imitate an exalted devotee. That is sentiments. Like once one devotee went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, whenever I chant Hare Krishna mantra, tears come from my eyes. So he was expecting that Prabhupada will applaud, he will be very happy, thinking that he has attained great ecstasy. He has attained bhava stage, like that Prabhupada will congratulate him like that. He was thinking. But Prabhupada understood the real situation. He understood the real position of that devotee. He knew it is simply sentiments, material sentiments. So Prabhupada said, don't worry, continue to chant more and more, the tears will go away. Like this, Prabhupada said. That means this bhava stage is very exalted. It is the stage which the symptoms which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed. Whenever anybody chanted the holy name of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his transcendental body, Ashta Sattvika Vikaras would be manifest. Eight kinds of ecstatic symptoms would be manifest in his body, like hair standing on the end, tears rolling by, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would roll on the ground like a mad person, he would dance. Now, these are all very advanced stage symptoms of bhakti. One should not imitate such things. And these should not also be considered to be sentiments, material sentiments. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Varanasi and he was singing and dancing like a mad person on the streets of Varanasi, the Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashananda Saraswati, they all thought that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a bhavuka sannyasi. He is a sentimental sannyasi. Instead of studying Vedanta, this person has accepted sannyas at a very young age, and instead of studying Vedanta, he is simply singing and dancing like a mad person. Like this, they were thinking. They had a material estimation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, Prakashananda Saraswati realized that how his estimation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so wrong when he actually met Mahaprabhu and they had a philosophical discussion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu singing and dancing was not sentimental because it was based on scriptural instructions and personal realization of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anything which is performed without reference to the scriptures, as Rupa Goswami says, it is utpatayaiva kalpate. It simply creates disturbance in the society. Uh, when we perform some religious activities and there is no proper scriptural reference to that, it is simply a mental concoction and it only creates more and more disturbance in the society. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed Sankirtana, it was not such a material sentiment. He was actually in the bhava stage. Later, after the Sankirtan, when devotees would go and tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about all of his display of uh, the symptoms of ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, I am just a show off devotee. I don't have genuine devotion for Krishna. I'm only showing off, like this Mahaprabhu would say. You see his humility. Mahaprabhu did not say that, yes, yes, I have developed this bhava stage. I have developed advanced Krishna prema, I have developed. No, he never said like that. He took a humble position of a devotee and he would say, actually, I'm a I'm not even a devotee. These are all simply I'm showing off to the public what kind of a devotee I am, like this Mahaprabhu would uh, tell about himself. So this bhava stage is very, very advanced stage. In the fifth canto of Bhagavatam, when the history of Bharat Maharaj is described, when he went to the forest giving up his royal opulence, even in his youthhood, he went to the forest for self-realization. And when he was sitting and chanting the holy names of the Lord, it is described in the fifth canto of Bhagavatam that he actually attained bhava. He displayed symptoms of ecstasy, like eyes shedding tears and hair standing on end, simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna. These are described in the fifth canto of Bhagavatam. So these are not simply some show off, these are genuine, ecstatic expressions of a very advanced devotee that we have to understand. So in this chapter, when Narad Muni talked about this, about his own life, there also we hear when Narad Muni said that when I started chanting the holy names, I started experiencing ecstasy. The same word bhava is used by Narad Muni himself. That means even before becoming Narad Muni, in his past life itself, he had actually attained the perfection of bhava stage. So that was his position. So, and then after bhava comes the ultimate perfection that is called prema. Prema means pure love of Krishna. So, Narad Muni has pure love for Krishna. Wherever he sees, wherever, whomever he meets, he simply requests them to chant Hare Krishna by personally chanting the holy names. Now, that's the symptom of prema. He's in love with the Lord. Therefore, he is in love with the parts and parcels of the Lord also. And therefore, out of his immense compassion, he preaches to even demoniac people to actually take up Krishna consciousness. This only a exalted, pure devotee of the Lord, Mahabhagavata, who has developed Krishna Prema, can do this. Actually, in the Bhagavatam, I'll give you a nice, we will discuss some very interesting case study, three case studies we will discuss, which shows how Narad Muni's point of view is exalted. It is more exalted than even a Jnani's point of view. So, whenever we come across a, a situation which is sensually very, very alluring, immediately we actually become attracted to such a situation. Suppose uh, a man sees a woman not very well, not fully dressed, and her body parts are exposed, then a man becomes sensually stimulated, isn't it? We see this in the example of Ajamila in the sixth canto of Bhagavatam. So Ajamila was a nice devotee, a Vaishnava, practicing devotee, a sadhaka. So he went to the forest to fetch wood and flowers for the worship of the Lord. But there he saw a, a low class man embracing a prostitute. And when this Ajamila, who was still young, he saw this, he could not actually control his lusty desires. Now, this is called Kama Drishti. Kama Drishti means uh, seeing from the point of view of material enjoyment. When we see objects of sense enjoyment, and immediately our senses drag us towards that particular sense pleasure, we should know that we are still in a very, very primitive stage of spiritual realization. That means we still have kama drishti. Our drishti means perspective. Our perspective of this world is still material enjoyment, bhoga. As Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam payapahruta chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. Krishna says, if we are too much attracted towards bhoga and aishvarya, material enjoyment and material opulence, our mind is carried away by these two things. Krishna says, in such a state of being, we cannot become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. That means when we see sensual objects in this world, we get dragged towards them with an idea of enjoying them. That is called kama drishti. And that, as long as we maintain this kind of a drishti perspective, it is not possible to become fixed up in devotional service. So that is why Ajamila gave up his sadhana, his practice of devotional service, and he seeked the association of that prostitute. And because of her association, he actually fell down, and he also indulged in so many sinful activities to maintain her. So this is kama drishti. Let us go to another situation described in the Bhagavatam in the very first canto. This is regarding Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami was within the mother's womb for 16 years because he was afraid of Maya. He was already self realized even when he was in the womb of his mother. So he did not want to come out of the mother's womb because he was fearing that if I actually come out of the mother's womb, then I will become implicated by Maya. Then I will start chasing Bhoga and Aishwarya. Then I will forget my spiritual path of life. I'll forget my spiritual realization. He had this fear. Actually, every sadhaka should have this kind of a fear. A sadhaka should not become fully confident that, oh, now from so many years I am chanting Hare Krishna, from so many years I am studying the philosophy, now I am very well conversant of the process of Krishna consciousness, therefore now Maya cannot do anything to me. One should not have this kind of a attitude, overconfidence. Saubhari Muni, ninth canto of Bhagavatam, it is described. Saubhari Muni was a great yogi, but still he became affected by lusty desires when he saw a male and a female fish mating. So, if a great yogi like Saubhari Muni can fall down, what to speak of us, isn't it? So, we should never become overconfident about our own selves. So, coming back to Shukadev Goswami. So, Shukadev Goswami, he didn't want to come out of his mother's womb. Therefore, Vyasadeva was so much worried. He went to Dwaraka and brought Krishna with him. And he requested Krishna, Krishna, you please assure my son that he will not be affected by Maya. Only then he will come out of the my wife's womb. So Krishna came and Krishna personally assured Shukadeva. He said, don't worry, by my blessings, you will be free from the influence of Maya. Now please come out of your mother's womb. Your mother is suffering greatly. From 16 years, she is holding you within her womb. So please don't create more suffering for your mother. I assure you that my Maya will not touch you. Come out of the womb. So when Krishna personally came and assured like this, then Shukadeva came out of the womb. And then as soon as he took birth, he started walking towards the forest. And when he was walking in the forest, and his father Vyasadeva was, trying to find him, his father was walking behind him, trying to stop him. But when Shukadev Goswami was walking, a very similar situation, Shukadeva also saw a very similar situation which Ajamila saw. What was Shukadev Goswami's? What did he see? He saw in a lake, in a pond, beautiful girls were actually taking bath naked. Same situation, almost same situation, what Ajamila saw. But Shukadev Goswami was least bothered, was least attracted. He was indifferent. He was neither attracted towards it, nor he was repelled from that. There is no attraction, no repulsion. because he was situated on the Jnana platform, on the Brahman realization platform. So he just walked away. So this is called Jnana Drishti. Jnana Drishti means to be indifferent to the pleasures and pains of this world. That is a kind of neutrality. Kama Drishti is to be situated in a platform where one is always attracted to various sense objects that the material world has to offer to us. Whereas Jnana Drishti of Shukadev Goswami was a neutral perspective. It is a neutral perspective where there is neither attraction nor repulsion to the sense objects, and he is situated on the spiritual platform. That is Jnana Drishti. Let us take another situation in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 10. This very nice pastime of which led to the Damodar Leela of the Lord that is described. We all know this very famous pastime. The sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they were actually uh, intoxicated. They were they had drunk, and they were in the company of young girls, and all of them were naked, and they were actually enjoying water sports in the Mandakini Ganga river in the Kailasa mountain, and they had lost their senses. They were fully intoxicated. They were fully naked. And at that time, the great pure devotee of the Lord, Mahabhagavata, Narad Muni, walks into that place, and immediately the girls, they start covering their bodies. Oh, saintly person has come. We should not actually uh, remain like this naked in front of such an exalted devotee. They think like that, and quickly they started covering their bodies. But these two sons of Kuvera, because they were intoxicated, they had lost their sense, so they could not appreciate the presence of Narad Muni, and they remained naked in that way. And when Narad Muni saw them, what was his thinking? He was, because he is a pure devotee, he was thinking, see, these two boys, they are born in such a nice family. They are the sons of Kuvera, the treasurer of the Devatas. And Kuvera is a direct associate of Lord Shiva. And in such a family, these two brothers are born. But because of bad association, they have become so bad, they have fallen down. So, something we should do to actually help them become devotees of the Lord. This is what he was thinking. Somehow I should bring them in touch with Krishna. How to bring these people, these fallen souls, in touch with Krishna? He was thinking like this. Therefore, he thought, if I put them in a poverty stricken condition, then they will lose all this pride of their wealth. Right now, they are very proud of their wealth. They're also proud of their beautiful bodies. If I put them into a situation where they no more can be proud of their wealth and their beautiful body, and in that condition, if somehow I can arrange in such a way that they come in touch with Lord Krishna, then that will be the best thing for them. I want to first reduce their material fever, and then I should bring them in touch with Krishna. This was the thought process of Narad Muni. So apparently, Narad Muni became angry and he cursed them, saying that you two become trees. So they became Yamala Arjuna trees, the twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaja's palace. And we all know how they came in touch with Krishna through the Damodar Leela. And they got liberated, and they both became devotees of the Lord, and they went back to their abode to practice bhakti. So now, what was the drishti of Narad Muni? Narad Muni's perspective is prema drishti. He was always in love with the Supreme Lord, and he wants everybody to also experience that pure love of Krishna. So that is his prema bhakti, prema drishti. Hmm? So because of his curse, they came in touch with Krishna. So if you see these three, analyze these three situations. Ajamila's situation, that is Kama Drishti. So Shukadev Goswami's situation, that is Jnana Drishti, indifference, he simply walked away. Whereas Narad Muni's perspective is Prema Drishti, which is much higher than the indifference attitude of Shukadev Goswami. So Narad Muni's perspective is Prema. So because he is in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore he loves his parts and parcels also. Therefore, when he sees the parts and parcels gone away from Krishna and suffering in the material world, he cannot tolerate it. He wants to somehow bring them back to Krishna. That is the thinking of a pure devotee spiritual master. And we can see the very same attitude of Narad Muni in our beloved spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was well situated in Vrindavan. It is the desire of every devotee of Krishna to pass his or her final days in Vrindavan. Prabhupada was already there in Vrindavan. He had retired from his family life. But then he did not simply remain there. He did not think that if I alone go back to Godhead, that is sufficient. He was actually feeling for the miseries of all the living entities, all the human beings in the entire world. Somehow I should bring them to Krishna. Therefore, to bring everyone to Vrindavan, Prabhupada left Vrindavan and went to the west. Had Prabhupada not left Vrindavan that day, and had he not traveled through the Jaladuta, and had he not gone through all those hardships and gone to the west and started single handedly the Krishna consciousness movement, today the whole world would not have come to Vrindavan. Today, the whole world would not have got to know about Krishna, about Hare Krishna Mahamantra. See, this is the prema drishti of a pure devotee. So, kama drishti binds us to the material existence. Jnana drishti is a stage of neutrality, whereas prema drishti thinks about how to bring everybody closer to Krishna. That is Narad Muni's position. That is why Narad Muni's position is so unique. Throughout the Bhagavatam, you will see so many devotees he made. He's such an expert preacher that his success rate is 100%. Whomever he touched, they would become devotees. That is his position. That is why he is called as the touchstone among the devotees. Touchstone. Touchstone has a very special feature that whenever it touches anything, it turns into gold. So Narad Muni's success rate in preaching is 100% because he is constantly chanting the holy names and constantly traveling everywhere. How to make everyone a devotee of the Lord. That is Narad Muni's position. So all the acharyas are actually pure devotees who are they're all representatives of Narad Muni. In fact, the meaning of the word Narada, Narayana Daine iti Naradaha. One who can actually bestow Narayana, Krishna, upon anybody whom he wishes. Daine means giving, bestowing. He can give Narayana just like that to anybody. Therefore, he is called Narada. Hmm? Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. There is a song, Vaishnava Thakur, Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Bhajan. In that song it says, Krishna se tomara. Krishna is the property of his pure devotees. Therefore, it is within the capacity of a pure devotee to give away Krishna to anybody whom he likes. Right? Therefore, we have to catch hold of the lotus feet of such a pure devotee spiritual master, because if he is pleased with us, he can just give away Krishna like that to us. So easily he can give away Krishna to us. That is why Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasadaha. We are not in a position to directly try to please Krishna. It is not possible. But if Prabhupada becomes pleased with us, then 100% Krishna will become pleased. Krishna will accept our service if Prabhupada is pleased with us. So that is the importance of accepting a bona fide spiritual master, and rendering service to him. So, Narad Muni's exalted position is because of his prema drishti, he travels everywhere and he freely preaches this Krishna consciousness message to one and all. So that is the point. So one important point Prabhupada mentions here, the result of such hearing is detachment from worldliness, so much so that even a small boy could receive the death news of his mother, who was his only caretaker, as the blessing of God. Why should we hear Bhagavatam every day? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Why? Example, the result of hearing Bhagavatam properly is there in the life of Narad Muni himself. In his past life, he went on hearing from the Bhakti Vedantas. Even as a 5-year-old boy, when he heard this Bhagavatam, there was so much of transformation in him. He had developed, on the strength of hearing Bhagavatam, he had developed knowledge and detachment, so much so that when his mother, who was his only caretaker, when she passed away, he did not become disturbed. He thought it is a blessing of the Lord. See, this kind of a perspective we can develop by hearing Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That is why, for a devotee, Bhagavatam should become the life and soul. We should hear Bhagavatam every day without missing. We should read Srila Prabhupada's books, understand, read again and again. Prabhupada says if you don't understand something, you read it again and again, you will understand. So we should be very, very serious. Prabhupada said everything that is required for us to go back to Krishna are mentioned in his books. Therefore, how much seriously we should be reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said, if you get 5 minutes free time, open my books and read. 5 minutes. One sentence, if you read also, if that can strike you, it can give you so much of realization and detachment. So from the Kama Drishti platform, we can actually come directly to the Prema Drishti platform of Narad Muni by simply studying Bhagavatam. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of Bhagavatam. So another important point that Prabhupada mentions here is in the Vedas and Upanishads, there are only indirect hints to all of this. Which all of this? Devotional service of the Lord. Nothing is directly explained there, and therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of all Vedic trees of literatures. Why Bhagavatam is described as Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. Nigama Kalpataru. Nigama means Vedas, Kalpataru means desire trees, Galitam Phalam, most ripened fruit. Bhagavatam is the most ripened fruit on the tree of Vedic literatures, on the desire tree of Vedic literatures. Why? Because in the Bhagavatam, directly the process of pure devotional service is described. In all the other Vedic scriptures, only hints are given. But in the Bhagavatam, in an uncompromising manner, Srila Vyasadeva has described pure devotional service. Therefore, this is the most mature fruit of all Vedic trees of literature. So, therefore, we are very fortunate that Prabhupada has made it available for us in an easy to understand manner. You just see each shloka, you have word to word meaning, translation, explanation, and in the purports, Prabhupada has expressed his own realizations. Plus, he has quoted from the authorities like Sridhar Swami, the great commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Goswamis, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all these different acharyas, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Yamunacharya, so many acharyas' realizations, Prabhupada has captured all of them and he has beautifully presented these purports. Prabhupada once said, these Bhakti Vedanta purports are the ecstatic expressions of my transcendental realizations. So, simply by studying these realizations of Srila Prabhupada, we can actually become purified. We can understand Krishna as he is. We can give up all kinds of attachment towards bhoga and aishwarya. We can become fixed up in devotional service to the Lord. Therefore, we must take the study of Bhagavatam very seriously. Text, let us go to the next shloka. We just have two more shlokas in this chapter, and this chapter will be completed. Text 37. Suta uvacha evam sambhashya bhagavan narado vasavi sutam आमन्त्र्य वीणां प्रणयन् ययौ यादृच्छिको मुनिः. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Suta Goswami said, thus addressing Vyasadeva, Srila Narad Muni took leave of him and vibrating on his veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will. Purport. Every living being is anxious for full freedom because that is his transcendental nature, and this freedom is obtained only through the transcendental service of the Lord. Illusioned by the external energy, everyone thinks that he is free, but actually he is bound up by the laws of nature. A conditioned soul cannot freely move from one place to another, even on this earth, and what to speak of one planet to another. But a full-fledged free soul like Narada, always engaged in chanting the Lord's glory, is free to move not only on earth but also in any part of the universe, as well as in any part of the spiritual sky. We can just imagine the extent and unlimitedness of his freedom, which is as good as that of the Supreme Lord. There is no reason or obligation for his traveling, and no one can stop him from his free movement. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotional service is also free. It may or may not develop in a particular person even after he undergoes all the detailed formulas. Similarly, the association of the devotee is also free. One may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavors. Therefore, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is the main pivot. Without freedom, there is no execution of devotional service. The freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that the devotee becomes dependent in every respect. To surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of the spiritual master is to attain complete freedom of life. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, Suta Goswami is continuing to narrate. He's saying, Evam, Evam, thus, Sambhashya, Sambhashya, addressing Bhagavan. Bhagavan, here it is referring to Narad Muni. Bhagavan means one who is transcendentally powerful. Whenever the word Bhagavan is used to address anybody apart from the Supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu Tattva, it has to be understood that Bhagavan there refers to uh, their exalted position, their being very powerful, or they being situated in a transcendental position. In the Bhagavatam, you will find the word Bhagavan is sometimes used to refer to Narad Muni. Sometimes the word Bhagavan is used to refer to Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. Sometimes the word Bhagavan is also used to refer to great personalities and Mahabhagavatas. But that doesn't mean they are all supreme personality of Godhead. That is not the understanding. Because they have got an intimate relationship with Bhagavan, with the supreme personality of Godhead, the Lord has empowered them with his own potencies. Therefore, they have become as good as Bhagavan. In that sense, the word is used. Just like we say, Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastraihi Uktastata Bhavyata Eva Sadbihi. In the in the Guru Ashtaka, which we sing every day, composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the seventh stanza, it is said, the spiritual master should be worshipped as good as Krishna. This is the verdict of all the scriptures. So it doesn't mean the spiritual master is God or he is Krishna. No, that is a Mayavadi idea. But The spiritual master, since he is a very confidential associate of the Lord, he is carrying out the confidential mission of the Lord in the material world. He must be given the same respect and worship that that is given to the Supreme Lord. That is the meaning. So, in that sense, Narad Muni is addressed as Bhagavan in this verse by Suta Goswami. Evam Sambhashya Bhagavan Narado Vasavi Sutam. Naradaha, that is Narad Muni, Vasavi Sutam. Vasavi is another name of Satyavati, who is the mother of Vyasadeva. Therefore, here Vasavi Sutam refers to Vyasadeva. Amantriya Veenam Ranayan. Amantriya means inviting. Veenan means his instrument. Veena. Ranayan means vibrating. Yayav, he went away. How did he go away? Yadrichiko Munihi. Yadrichikaha. Yad, if you have seen in the Bhagavad Gita, this word also comes. Yadrucha labha santushtaha. Krishna says, Yadrucha means as it comes, according to the supreme will. So here, Yadruchaya, Yadrichikaha. Icha means desire. Yadrichika means as per his desire. So Narad Muni, wherever he wanted, he went away. Munihi, the great sage. In the sixth canto of Bhagavatam, this incident is described, which led to Narad Muni's becoming a transcendental spaceman. Narad Muni once delivered the sons of Daksha Prajapati, who were all doing intense tapasya on the order of their father. Daksha Prajapati had ordered, first he produced 10,000 sons called the Haryashvas. He ordered all of them, go and perform tapasya, and so that you can get good wife, so that you can create more progeny, you can increase the population of this world. So all the 10,000 brothers, the Haryashvas, they all went and performed tapasya. They had become purified because of their tapasya. And Narad Muni saw this. Narad Muni thought, see, all these people are performing tapasya for some material benefit. What if I can turn their attention towards bhakti? They will all become liberated souls. With this in mind, he went and preached all those 10,000 sons of Daksha Prajapati, called as Haryashvas. And by hearing the Narad Muni's preaching was so effective that they all gave up their material ideas, material desires, and they all engaged in pure devotional service to Krishna, and they all attained liberation. So this news reached Daksha Prajapati. He became very unhappy because his idea was to actually increase the population of this world because he is Prajapati. That is his designated service. Hmm? So he was trying to increase the population of this world, but Narad Muni has foiled his plan. So he became angry. Anyway, he produced another set of sons. This time he produced 1,000 sons. They were known as Shavalasvas. So he told the Shavalasvas, you also go, you please go and perform tapasya and be careful, don't hear to anybody. You simply go do tapasya so that you get enough pious credits and a good wife so that you can increase the population. So they all went, like their elder brothers, they also went. Narad Muni again came. He said, this is a nice mass liberation program. All people are coming together. I'll go and give a preaching, I'll give a class to them. They will all become liberated. So first 10,000 sons I have liberated. I have made them pure devotees, which is very pleasing to the Lord. Now the second set of sons also, why should I leave them? So he went. This time he did not preach any heavy philosophy. He noticed that all these Shavalashvas, they had great affection for their elder brothers, Haryashvas. So he simply told, see, if you are really loving your elder brothers, you should also follow their footsteps. You should also give up these material desires, and you should also become pure devotees of the Lord. So immediately, the Shavalashvas also followed their elder brothers, Haryashvas. They also became devotees. They also gave up their material desires. So Narad Muni was super happy. So he sang and danced and went to his brother Daksha. And he said, "Good news, my brother. All your 11,000 sons are delivered." Now, instead of feeling happy, Daksha Prajapati became very angry. "Oh, Narada, you are dressing like a devotee of the Lord, but you are actually not a devotee. You have simply uh, spoiled the mind of my immature sons. My sons were all immature, they were inexperienced. You have simply spoiled their mind and turned their minds towards renunciation. This is not the right thing. This is not the behavior of a saintly person. You have done such a heinous thing. You are said to be a saintly person, but you don't have any saintly characters. Look at me, even though I am a grihastha, I am more exalted, I am more spiritually advanced than you." Like that, Daksha Prajapati started boasting, and then he, in a fit of anger, he cursed Narada. He said, "See, from today onwards, you will not be able to stay in a particular place for a long duration of time. You will simply have to travel everywhere aimlessly. Nowhere you can stay in one place." So Narad Muni was very powerful. He could have countered this curse, but he didn't do that. Narad Muni said, "Tad Badam, let it be so. This is so nice. My dear brother, you have given me not a curse, you have actually given me a benediction. Because I can go to more places, I can meet more conditioned souls, and I can make them devotees. So you have actually helped me in my mission. Thank you." Like this, he accepted that curse very happily. And that is why Narad Muni is called Triloka Sanchari. He keeps traveling everywhere. And after telling all of this to his disciple Vyasadeva about his past life and about the glories of devotional service, in a way, he actually gave the synopsis of Srimad Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva, giving all of these instructions. Narad Muni took leave from him, vibrating on his veena. He left to wander at his free will. You see, free will is a very important word. Prabhupada has explained very much about this in this purport. All of us are very anxious to be free, isn't it? We all want freedom. In a few days from now, we are going to celebrate the Independence Day of our country. Every year we celebrate this to remind ourselves that how we were under the subjugation of the Britishers, and with great struggle, we became an independent nation. Now we have our own government, we make our own laws, so we are not dependent on any other foreign rulers. To remind ourselves about this, we celebrate Independence Day every year. But what is real independence? Real independence is not simply about changing the government, changing one political party to another political party. That is not real independence. Real independence is when we actually get out of the cycle of birth and death. That is real independence. And to be situated in the devotional service to the Lord, that is real independence. That is our original position. In the Bhagavatam, very beautifully, the definition of the word mukti is given. Hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. This is the definition of the word mukti. What is mukti? Hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. Giving up all false notions, giving up all false designations pertaining to this material world and material body, and becoming situated in our original constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. That is called mukti. Mukti hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. To be situated in our original position as servant of Krishna. What is our constitutional position? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained. Jiver swarupa hoy Krishnera nitya dasa. We are eternally servants of Krishna. This is our swarupa. Swarupa means our original position, constitutional position. Right now, we are thinking, I am a man, I am an Indian, I am a Hindu, I am this, I am that. All of these are designations pertaining to the body, but we are not any of these. But we are actually originally eternal servants of Krishna. To go back to that original position, to be established in that position as servant of Krishna, that is called mukti. So Narad Muni is a liberated soul. Why? Because he is always situated in his constitutional position. He is free from the influence of material modes, and he is always engaged in devotional service to the Lord. That is the meaning of mukti. So Narad Muni is situated in his original position. Therefore, at will he can go wherever he wants, not only in the material world, but also in the spiritual world. That is called freedom. Right now, are we free? We are not free. Even to go to one from one place to another place, we have to depend on some mode of transportation. Just by desiring, we cannot go. Suppose we want to go from here to another place. Say we want to go to Tirupati to have darshan of the Lord. No, you have to plan your journey. You have to book a ticket in advance, train or bus or whatever. And then the bus will take you. You have to go through that journey. The journey is not very comfortable, so many difficulties. And on the way, you will become hungry. You will have to attend nature calls. You see how much we are bound by the laws of this material world. We are bound by the limitations of this material body. So this is called conditioned state of existence. But look at Narad Muni. Wherever he wishes, at will, he can go instantly to that place, not only in the material world, in the spiritual world also. So that is called liberated state of existence. So that means when a jiva becomes liberated, he becomes as free as the Supreme Lord himself. That is the meaning. So Narad Muni has no reason or obligation for traveling anywhere, but no one can stop his movement. He can go anywhere. Generally, we go from one place to another place to fulfill our desire. But Narad Muni has no such material desires to fulfill. Then why is he traveling? He is traveling simply to preach the Krishna consciousness message. As an ambassador of Krishna, he goes everywhere. And he simply makes people remember Krishna by chanting the holy names. One important point Prabhupada makes in this purport. You see, Prabhupada says very, very important. He says, the transcendental system of devotional service is free. It may or may not develop in a particular person even after he undergoes all the detailed formulas. So, Narad Muni's movement is free, free movement. No one can stop. Right? In the same way, bhakti also is free. What do you mean by bhakti is free? Krishna may award bhakti to us, may not award, even though we may endeavor in so many ways. That means in bhakti, there is no right seeking mentality. In the spiritual world, there is no right seeking mentality. Oh, I have chanted for so many days. I must get Krishna Prema in this life only. No, you cannot place such demands in front of the Lord. Bhakti is not like that. Bhakti can be attained only by the causeless mercy of the Lord or his pure devotee. It's not because we have done so much sadhana, therefore Krishna is obliged to give us Krishna Prema. No, he's not obliged. He may not give. So, but the devotee should be okay with that. That is the meaning of surrendering. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the last verse of Shikshashtakam, Ashlishyava pada ratham pinashtu mam, adarshanan marma hatam karotu va, yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato, mat pradanathasthu sayeva napara. O Krishna, you either trample me under your feet or you embrace me. You either give me your darshan or you make me broken hearted by not giving your darshan. Doesn't matter for me. In either case, in any case, I am your servant and you are my prananatha. You are the Lord of my life. So this should be the mood of a devotee. So you cannot say, I have done so many Ekadashi vratas. You must give me bhakti. You must take me back to Godhead in this lifetime. Why, Krishna, you are not doing this? No, there is no such right seeking in spiritual life. Spiritual life simply works on the platform of mercy, causeless mercy. Nothing we have earned, nothing we can earn in the spiritual realm. In the material realm, the laws of karma operate. If you want to achieve something, the laws of karma will make you work hard, earn the punya, and then you enjoy. So in the material world, you earn it and you get it. But in the spiritual world, in Krishna consciousness, it's not a matter of our own personal sadhana, our own personal endeavors. It is not like that. Then why should we do sadhana, Prabhu? Somebody may ask. We should do sadhana because Prabhupada has told us, and when we follow his instructions, Prabhupada will be pleased with us, and when Prabhupada is pleased with us, he can bestow Krishna upon us. That is why we have to do sadhana, because Prabhupada has told. To please the spiritual master, we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. So, devotional service is free, Prabhupada is saying. I will take another 15 minutes. We have to cover another shloka. And Prabhupada also says, similarly, the association of the devotee is also free. Sadhu Sangha is also free. What does it mean? One may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavors. Look at this. We take devotion, we take Sadhu Sangha so casually. We just walk into a devotee's cabin in the temple and say, Prabhu, can you please spend some time with me? Prabhu, I have this question. Can you please answer this question? Right? We very casually consider Sadhu Sangha to be, we take it for granted. But Prabhupada is writing here, one may be fortunate to have it, one may not be fortunate to have it, even after thousands of endeavors. How Prabhupada is so blessed us, isn't it? By our own endeavors, we have not got this Sadhu Sangha. Prabhupada's causeless mercy has given us this Sadhu Sangha. Hmm? So, therefore, Prabhupada says, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is the main pivot. You know, pivot or pivot, it is also called. Suppose you have the, you know, clock, the analog clock. It has three hands, isn't it? All the three hands are centered, pinned to the center point. That is called pivot. So, centered, fixed at that point, all the hands have to move and show you the time, isn't it? In the same way, in devotional service, what is that central point based on which everything happens? That is freedom. Freedom, the free will. How we use our free will based on that, Krishna will reciprocate. That is the point. And without freedom, there is no execution of devotional service. Very nice point Prabhupada is making. Without freedom, there is no execution. That means, that is why Krishna, after instructing the entire Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, Yathechasi taha kuru. Now you do. I have told everything that I am supposed to tell you. Now you decide what you want to do. Krishna himself does not meddle with our free will because he respects our choice, he respects our individuality. That is called love, isn't it? Love means respecting the other person's freedom of choice. Love is not about imposing. In fact, it is not difficult for Krishna to force everybody to surrender to him. He is omnipotent. Is it difficult for him? It's not difficult. But he doesn't do that because he respects every jiva's free will. So when you start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what does it mean? It means that Krishna, now I am ready to surrender to you. Please guide me, please take me, please keep me under your shelter. We are indicating to Krishna. We are indicating. When you start chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you are indicating. All these while in so many lifetimes, I was foolishly thinking that I am very free, but I was actually fooled by Maya. Now I have come to my senses. I am voluntarily using my free will to chant your holy names, to serve you, to render service to you. So I am voluntarily coming to you. Only when you indicate that, then Krishna will start involving, interfering in our life. Krishna is a perfect gentleman. He will not touch you if you don't want him. If you don't want him, he will not touch you. So when you start chanting, when you start hearing about Krishna, that means you are indicating to Krishna, I want to voluntarily surrender to you, O Krishna. Please take charge of my life. That is the meaning. So he becomes happy. So we say, right, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna becomes happy. Why is he becoming happy? He's becoming happy for us. That now we have understood what is the right utility of our free will. So Krishna becomes happy for our sake. Just like Prabhupada gives example, when the son goes away from the house and he starts indicating that he's interested to come back to the house, father becomes happy. Father does not become happy thinking that, see, now the son has learnt his lesson. uh, he cannot manage himself. He has to depend on me. It's not with the sadistic mentality that the father is going to be happy. He is happy because son is suffering outside. If he comes here to my house, I will provide for everything for him. He doesn't have to go outside and suffer like that. So, similarly, we all have given up Krishna and we have come to the material world with a view to enjoy independent of him, and Krishna is not happy with this. So, when you start chanting, when you start engaging in devotional service, we are indicating to Krishna, Krishna, I am interested in you. Krishna, I want to come back to you. So, that's why Krishna becomes happy for us. Let's go to the last verse of this chapter, text 38. Aho devarshir dhanyo yam yat kirtim shangadhanvanaha gayan madyan idam tantriya ramat ramatyaturam jagat. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Suta Goswami continued, all glory and success to Srila Narad Muni because he glorifies the activities of the personality of Godhead, and so doing, he himself takes pleasure and also enlivens all the distressed souls of the universe. Purport. Sri Narad Muni plays on his instrument to glorify the transcendental activities of the Lord and to give relief to all miserable living entities of the universe. No one is happy here within the universe, and what is felt as happiness is Maya's illusion. The illusory energy of the Lord is so strong that even the hog who lives on filthy stool feels happy. No one can be truly happy within the material world. Srila Narad Muni, in order to enlighten the miserable inhabitants, wanders everywhere. His mission is to get them back home, back to Godhead. That is the mission of all genuine devotees of the Lord, following the footsteps of that great sage. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the first canto, sixth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Conversation between Narada and Vyasa. So here it is said, Aho Devarshir Dhanyo Yam. Aho means all glory to Devarshihi, the sage among the Devatas, Narad Muni. Dhanyaha Ayam. Dhanya means all success. Ayam one who, Yat Kirtim Sharngadhanvanaha. Kirtim, glories. Sharngadhanvanaha means the personality of Godhead, Krishna or Narayana, who has the bow known as Sharnga. Narayana's bow is called as Sharngadhanu. So he is called Sharngadhanvanaha, the holder of the Sharngadhanus. Gayan, Madhyan, Tantriya. Gayan means singing. Madhyan means taking pleasure in. Idam, this. Tantriya means by means of the instrument, Veena. Ramayati, enlivens. Aturam Jagat. Jagat means the world. Aturam means, we have discussed about this in the previous chapter. Yesterday we have discussed. Aturam means distress. The people who are always filled with anxiety and distress, that is a people of this material world. So, Suta Goswami is saying, all glory and success to Srila Narad Muni. Like we say, Jai, Jai, Jaikara. So he is glorifying Narad Muni. All glory. Aho Devarshir Dhanyo Yam. All glories to you and all success to you. Suta Goswami is also praying for the success of Narad Muni. Why? Because Narad Muni has got a mission to take everyone back home, back to Godhead. So Suta Goswami is saying, let Narad Muni's divine mission become successful. So he's saying, all glory and success to Sri Narad Muni because he glorifies the activities of the personality of Godhead. Kirtim yat kirtim shanga dhanvanaha. He's glorifying the Supreme Lord who carries a bow known as Shanga in his hand. He's constantly glorifying the Lord. And when he's glorifying this, what does he do? What does he experience? Gayan Madayan Idam Tantriya. He plays on his veena and he becomes ecstatic. He takes pleasure in singing the glories of the Lord. And not only that, not only he himself becomes blissful, but Ramayati Aturam Jagat. Whoever hears in the material world, the distressed souls will all become enlivened. They will all become happy by hearing the chanting of Narad Muni. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has composed a very beautiful bhajan which glorifies and describes the activities of Narad Muni. Narad Muni Bhajai Veena Radhika Ramana Nami. Narad Muni is constantly going about everywhere in the universe and he's playing on his veena and he's constantly chanting the names of Radhika Ramana. And by hearing his chanting, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and all the devatas and great sages, great devotees, everybody become ecstatic. That is the influence of Narad Muni. And that same Narad Muni appeared 500 years ago to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pastimes as Srivas Thakur. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtana movement in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur's house in Navadvip, Mayapur. So Srivas Thakur, who is Narad Muni, who is always fond of singing glories of the Lord in the entire material universe, the Lord chose his house to inaugurate the Sankirtana movement. So that is Srivas Thakur, Narad Muni. So Narad Muni is constantly playing the veena. He is glorifying the Lord's pastimes, activities, and anybody who hears this, they become free from the miseries of material existence. And Prabhupada says, the illusory energy of the Lord is so strong that even the hog who lives on filthy stool feels happy. But no one can be truly happy within the material world. See how illusion is so strong, Maya is so strong. Even a pig living in the gutter thinks that he is very happy. Oh, my family members, they are depending on me. I'm very happy with my family. This is what the pig is thinking. I'm surrounded by my, you know, wife pig, children piglets, and this is Swarga. Once Indra was cursed by Brihaspati to become a pig. So he started living as a pig in the earthly planet, in a gutter, along with his family members. Meanwhile, because Indrasana was empty, there was nobody to take over his position. So Lord Brahma had to personally come. And so Lord Brahma came to this pig and said, oh pig, you're not pig actually, you're Indra. Please come, let us go. I'll place you on the Indrasana. You can rule over all the devatas. So the pig said, no, 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 I don't want to become Indra and all. This gutter is only my heaven. And these family members only are my, well-wishers. So I cannot leave them and come like this, he was thinking. So finally, Lord Brahma had to use his mystic power to bring Indra out of his illusion, make him realize that because of a curse he has become pig. Actually, he is Indra. And when he came out of that, then he could realize his actual position. See, Prabhupada narrates this story to tell us how Maya is so strong. We are also like that. We are also in small families and we think that this is all in all. Since I am born in this family, since I am born in this community, I belong to this. I have to dedicate my life to this community, this family, these relatives. So we become conditioned and bound like this. And it is Narad Muni and his pure representative Srila Prabhupada who have entered our life and they are trying to say, no, 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 why are you suffering in this gutter of material existence? You actually belong to Krishna. You are entitled to an eternal life full of knowledge and bliss in the association of Krishna. Why are you suffering here in this gutter? Please come out of this. Narad Muni, Prabhupada is telling us. So we have to take Prabhupada's instruction seriously and make a firm determination that at the end of this lifetime, I have to go back to Godhead. So let me follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions very seriously. Let me keep aside all other things. Let me prioritize Krishna consciousness in my life. So Prabhupada has promised us, if you chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day, follow the four regulative principles, I will take you back to God. So Prabhupada has promised it. And if we promise back to Srila Prabhupada that yes, I will follow your instructions seriously, then Prabhupada will take us back to Godhead at the end of this very lifetime. So Prabhupada says, Narad Muni's mission is to get everyone back home, back to Godhead. That is the mission of all genuine devotees of God, following the footsteps of that great sage. So Prabhupada also is following in the footsteps of Narad Muni, and he has come to this material world to take us all back to God. He's an ambassador from the spiritual world. All that we have to do is we have to cooperate with him, follow his instructions, and Prabhupada will take us back to Godhead. With that, we come to the end of the sixth chapter. Tomorrow we shall begin a new chapter, this chapter 7, which is entitled The Son of Drona Punished. We will talk about it from tomorrow onwards. Thank you very much for your valuable time. In spite of today, we had 1.5 hours of session. In spite of that, so many of you are still hearing. That's very encouraging. That shows how we have developed taste for hearing Bhagavatam. Very nice. So we will meet again in the next session. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, विश्व गुरु
Jai,
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai,
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.